All right, here we are, the Vital Performance Studios. That's what I'm just gonna will it in. Special guest here today. We have Gordy Gundaker here with us, local in our community. We're excited to introduce our community to him. This is the Vital Wire. All right, Gordy, thanks for being here. First of all,
thanks for having me.
This is going to be a little different than probably most of the interviews you are used to. We'll touch on some of that, I'm sure. But literally, what we want to do, man, is you grew up in this area. You went to high school locally in the area. Gundaker name is very real around St. Louis too, so there's a tie to that too. We'll talk about the family and everything, but. Just kind of give us the rundown. What are you doing? Like, how did you get here? Where did you grow up? Although I gave most of that away already, but just give us a rundown. Give us an insight to Gordy's life.
You have to also say the one question that everybody asks in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to high school? All that goodness.
Yeah. So, born and raised right here in St. Charles. It's where I grew up. We lived at the same house the last 26 years, 27 years.
I love it.
It's crazy where, the whole community's come just from when we originally moved here, there was none of this, so it was just a lot smaller. When we originally started, there was a racetrack 5 minutes down the road. That's gone. So, I went to Francis Howell, played baseball there, and just, have lived here my entire life. I've seen the community grow, obviously, with Grandpa's company, started as Gundaker Realtors. Well, it started as Gundaker Better Homes and Gardens, Gundaker Realty. Now it's, he sold out to Coldwell Banker, but, still very active in the community. My aunts still run real estate offices and do things like that. So, I love it here. People always ask, would you ever want to move? Are you going to leave town? I'm like, I have literally no reason to. I love it here. It's super homey. Yeah, there's obviously other great cities, but I get to go visit them all the time. So
no kidding.
This is where I consider home, and I don't really see that changing anytime soon.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and there's times when he says he's literally lived in the same house in this community and watched it be built. There's times like when we go to lunch, I'll just go over there.
Yes.
I just show up to see if anybody's over at the shop. So literally 2 miles away. So and we see a lot of athletes here from Howell and Central and I don't even know, was Central School.
Yeah. No, Central's been around a while. That was one of our biggest rivals.
Right.
That was one of the things, like, we were all growing up. All of our best friends. It was really cool because all my closest friends, we grew up playing ball together in 4th, 5th grade, and then we all knew we were going to be in high school ball together, and that was the whole thing, was that we all wanted to really chase a state championship at some point. And one of our best friends lived in the Howell Central School District at the time, Brett Graves. And he knew he wanted to go to Howell. They put in a little waiver to go to Howell. They denied it, so they just moved. So they said, fine, you won't give us it?
That's a big thing here in St. Charles.
Yep, so,
if you want to go to a different district, you move.
Yep, so they did. They moved houses. They used to live right here off of Highway N. They got out of there and then moved over off of Pittman Hill or off of Junk Station, and so then so he could go to Howell.
I love that so much.
And then my other best friend Brett, they live right here by St. Joe's School. Same deal. His was right on the line where he could go either way, and they were like, we're going to Howell. So
I love it.
Yeah, we didn't like Howell Central. I still don't, to be honest.
The rivalry stands.
It sounds really bad, but my niece is going to play soccer at Howell Central, and my brother's like,
no.
So you're gonna wear Howell Central gear, right? And I was like, absolutely not. I'll wear like the colors, maybe, like, to the game, but you will not find me wearing a Howell Central hat.
Great
shirt.
news is it's easy. You just wear gray
Yeah.
if you really want to.
It's like, it'll be really easy to go and support, but it will not be wearing any Howell Central gear. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that was, same deal. Them and Howell North, we just didn't belong. Zumwalt West. It's so
I was
funny.
going to say, Zumwalt West is huge rivalry right now with Howell.
Yeah. When it has been, I'm telling you, back when we were there, we hated each other. And it's so funny. I went to college with a couple of guys. One of the kids that played on our team went to Zumwalt West, and we literally had to hash out like how much we hated each other in high school. We didn't like it. Just was one of those things.
gosh.
People, I think they come into this community are like, wow, you guys are so stupid. You guys have this big rivalry. And I'm like, people don't understand how big like sports and everything is here in St. Louis. Like, it is a big deal. Like the joke about what high school did you go to is like, people judge you on what you did. So,
are we gonna be friends or not? Well, let's just get that first question out of the way. We'll decide.
We'll figure out where we went. We'll figure out where we can go from there. But,
it's so funny. I don't feel like it was like that in South County, but the minute I moved to St. Charles, I was like, oh shit, okay. Don't even mention the other one.
Yeah, you can't. It's the truth. Like, people
take it seriously. It's like a pro sport.
They do. Yeah, we took it serious.
What year did you graduate?
Graduated in 11.
11.
Yeah. So we were, at that time, Howell football was not good before we kind of got there. They'd kind of struggled. Brian Koch came in, was the new head coach. He completely turned the whole program around. And then we became really good. I didn't play football, but like all of my buddies did. And then really that stemmed a lot of the rivalries because a lot of the guys that played football, some played baseball as well. So we picked up on what was happening in the fall and was like, okay, we don't like Zumwalt West. We don't like these guys.
Got it.
Okay, so then it transferred right into the spring. We're like, the hell with those guys.
Just keep it going.
We're just going to keep pummeling at them. So,
oh my goodness.
It's just the way it went. But, obviously you get out of that.
Yeah.
You grow past it. You look back and you laugh. It's super funny now to look at like how much
why did I
hatred we
hate
really
them
had. We did. We had a lot of hatred.
Purple.
So, but it was fun. It brought a lot to what I was doing, a lot of competitiveness and drive to really want to beat those teams. We were like, we have to be working out or doing things because if we lose to them, we're going to have to wear this for a year. So,
very true.
Yeah.
So you graduated in 11. So what all did you, was it just baseball or did you play any other sports?
Me, it was funny. I just played baseball, but our sophomore year, we had this wild hair that we were going to go try out for the basketball team. Me, my best friend Case, my best friend Brett, and we literally picked a basketball. We played around at times for fun, and we picked the ball up like a week before tryouts. We're like, we're just going to shoot every day. It should be no problem, and we didn't make it. Don't get me wrong, we did have a lot of really good basketball players. Like the Howell has a really good feeder team leading up, so we thought we were just going to jump in. Got cut. I'm like, I've never been cut for anything. It was kind of demoralizing, but it was funny. So it was funny because our JV coach was also our JV baseball coach, and so he has to cut all of us. He's like, just get ready for baseball season. Don't worry about
Stop
this.
screwing around.
Yeah, he's like, just go do your winter workouts. Like, don't even worry about it. Like, we're gonna have a good spring. So he tried to help us. Like, no, it's not so bad.
Let you down easy.
Yeah. Like, dude, we just got cut.
At least this isn't the end for you.
Yeah. The only good thing is that all three of us got cut. So it wasn't like one made it and the other two didn't. So it was almost better that way. You're like, okay, we just weren't good enough.
Yeah.
So it was funny. But yeah, just baseball. That was really the main goal. I was still racing at the time, so that helped a little bit. But yeah, that was the goal. Was we knew going into our senior year that was the main goal from the time we got into high school and freshman year was our senior year. We wanted to win state. That was the whole goal.
That's cool.
Yeah, we share that story. I mean, I grew up in Cuba, Missouri, so I couldn't move across the road because it took me, I was like 5 miles one way in the snow is how I walked to school. No, but 3,500 people, there was one school, and we had Steelville and St. James and, Sullivan and those around us, but we had that group too, where we had eight of us, eight of the 9 people on the field. Yeah. And same thing. It was from almost T-ball on, it's like these kids might do it. And so it was cool. Did you guys win one?
Yep. Yeah, we sure did. Yeah, it was awesome.
Or did you win 2? How many did you win?
We only got one.
Okay.
We got one. Our junior year, we lost to Zumwalt South. Well, it's an asterisk, really, because we should have won the game. There should have been a strike. I'll never forget it. That's bad. I don't want to rehash it.
It was an arm call.
But yeah, it was a strike 3 call. And it was bases loaded, 2 outs. We're up 1 in the last inning. District championship game. I literally catch it. I jumped up, pumped my arm, and the ump calls it a ball, and I just took everything in me not to turn around and just
punch him in the face.
And the next pitch, jam shot up the middle, 2-run score, we lose. So, and then Zumwalt Sal, like, they didn't end up winning state that year. They went to, I think, the Final Four, though. Like, we were really, really good. But, I mean, it's easy to say that we would have won it. That's not, the truth.
Yeah.
But then our senior year,
Oh, what a cool way to go out, too, with it being your senior year.
Yep. So, yeah, we went 32-3 our senior year. We were, like, number 6 in the country.
That's awesome.
Like I said, we had a lot of really, really good players. Graves was the Missouri Gatorade Player of the Year.
Oh, that's cool.
So he was, then gets drafted out of high school. So we had 13 seniors on that team.
Damn.
12 went on to play a college sport, 10 baseball, 2 football. One of the football guys ended up playing baseball, so 11 of the 13 played college baseball. So
that's super cool.
Yeah, we had a lot of really, really good players on the team, and so it was a lot of fun. And then the best part about it was the day we won state was also the day of our graduation. We were like, the whole plan was, we knew it from the beginning. We were like, we're winning state, so we don't have to go to graduation. We're like, we don't want to go to graduation. So like, our graduation is winning state. And so,
Oh my gosh.
So we won state, and, we dogpile, do the ceremony, do all those things. And, but what was funny is, like, on graduation days, there's a morning graduation and there's an afternoon graduation. Well, that was the afternoon.
Gordy, I graduated with 84 people. I don't know that at all.
Yeah. In St. Around here, a lot of people use the family arena. In graduation, there's a morning one, and then they have an afternoon. So
I was able to graduate in a gym.
Yeah. And so, actually, our athletic director was there with us, and was like, hey, you guys could make it back potentially. Like, do you want to go? And we had already kind of celebrated. There wasn't nothing more for us to do at that point. Like, we're 18, we're on a bus going there. It's not like if we won it when we were 21, like, we're going straight to the bar.
Right to Main Street.
Right. So
Main Street.
So we're like, yeah, let's try, I guess. So we hop on the bus, just nasty, sweaty, pumped though, and we were in Springfield, Missouri, and we played at Drury University is where we played. We're on the way back. So like, we don't know if you're gonna get back in time or not. It's gonna be close. And we got back with like 100 kids to go, still in our baseball uniforms, dirty, and they waited till the very end, and we got to walk through.
Oh, that's cool.
They played like didn't tell nobody.
Yeah.
So we graduated in our baseball uniforms.
Wait,
That's
that's
awesome.
super cool.
Yeah. So we were still in. We brought the state championship trophy with us up
Hell
to the
yeah.
So it was really cool. I mean, literally, we smelled so bad. And but it was really cool. They. Like when we came in, they announced us and then let us walk the stage. So it was good. I think for our parents too, because my mom wanted me to walk across the stage more than I had.
I was gonna say I couldn't imagine Tammy allowing you not to.
But,
Well, it wasn't long ago. Your brother graduated.
Yeah. Let's see.
Kinda.
Yeah. Whatever. However you want to consider
T-Rex.
that.
Yeah, he didn't necessarily walk across the stage.
No,
Did he do something at the racetrack or something?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, we were at. Where were we at? Indiana. I can't think of where. Plymouth, Indiana.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
We were racing.
Oh
on
my
that
goodness.
Day. So Mom embarrassed him.
Yeah.
Made him go stand in the infield.
Your mom no way.
In front of all these people that didn't know him, and they announced that he's graduated high school. Oh yeah, he was so mad.
Wait, I love that.
So mad.
And now you're reliving it right now.
Yeah,
Just
so it was great for
You're
me.
welcome.
It was great for me because when I knew what was going on, and they put him on the back of the field, and like, hey, we got to go to the infield, and he's like, what for?
Oh no.
Yeah, so they didn't tell him what was going on. They just paraded him down there.
I bet he was as red as a tomato.
It was a summer national race. So it was on Dirt Vision, mind you.
Wait, I'm dead. Go rewatch it, everybody.
So I'll have to look up. We'll have to find the date of that one. I wish I knew the exact date, but
I saw the video. I forget who showed me, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
way.
Oh man, he was so mad.
I can imagine coming back from Springfield. You guys want to make it? And they're like, well, I don't know if we'll make it in time. I have to think that everybody looked at Gordy at some point in time and said, "Wheel this bus, wheel this thing back to St. Louis."
Yeah. I would have gladly, but we were too caught up. It was so funny. We didn't have like a aux cord on the bus.
Oh, yeah.
But they had a microphone that went over the intercom. So we were holding a phone to the microphone, playing songs on the way back. It was like, we did some We Are the Champions, and then veered off of that very quickly to like Colt 45. And, our head coach didn't ride back with us.
Oh my
our
goodness.
assistant coaches who were like players, guys. You know, they were. Coach Sissel had been with us since we grew up around him, and he was there a long time. And then Coach Beckman was super close with us, so they were like, "We don't care what you play, like just let it fly." And they are just laughing, having a great time. We are just playing some of the raunchiest things on the way back, singing every word to them.
I love it.
Yeah, they're like, "What is wrong with you guys?" It was a lot of fun. Thankful for those memories. That's for sure.
Yeah, there was times that we had the AD surprisingly ride with us. So I'm just gonna ride with you guys. And I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah,
It ruined that time.
Yeah.
Everybody sits in silence.
Yeah, real quiet.
So outside of that, obviously, we have to talk a little bit about. So when did obviously I know this a little bit of the story. I don't even know a lot. I mean, our relationship has been kind of cool and developed really over the past year.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys have helped me out a ton, but so I know a little bit of the racing story. But playing baseball, going to high school, when was racing? When were you full time racing?
Once I graduated college is when I went full time racing. But it all, obviously it started when I was 6, racing quarter midgets, go karts, all those things, and then got to high school and was racing a little bit more crate cars and racing 30 times a year. Nothing nuts. Mom and Dad owned the racetrack at that time, so I had a place to go and race and do those things. And then really I was starting at the end of my high school career. My senior year, I didn't really have a place I was going to go yet. My junior year, I wasn't very good. I was 150 pounds soaking wet. I was skinny, not really grown out, and didn't know what the future held for me. I played on a really good summer ball team that, a lot of college coaches came to the game, but I just wasn't what they were looking for. I was a small, tiny catcher, and didn't bring a whole lot to the table at that point. So my senior year my off season was big. I had put on a bunch of weight to try and bulk up, and I needed to hit more and do those things. And so I didn't know if I was even going to play college ball. And so really, I thought I was going racing.
Yeah.
And midway through my senior year, I was playing really well, hitting really well, and Quincy kind of had a spot for me. It wasn't a scholarship, but they're like, hey, if you come up here, you can try out for a spot. You can maybe play. I don't know. So I'm like, okay. And my dad and mom were both really adamant about, you should at least go. I was like, at the time I wanted to go racing. Guys like Bobby Pierce and Devin Moran, those guys were younger than me, but they were already going racing full time. I was like, I want to do that. And they're like, you should do this instead. And I'm glad I did. But so then I took those next 4 years off, really. I just kind of raced during the summer, would bounce in and maybe ran 15, 20 times total. Yeah. Then as soon as I graduated, it was like, all right, we're going wide open on the racing. So I guess whatever year that was, 2016 would have been my first full-time year, and now it's been that ever since. So
that's so fun.
Yeah. I took 2019, I went a little bit slower. I took a job and only raced 30 times. So that, weirdly enough, is the year I won all my races. I won a ton of races that year. I think we won 7 or 8 races that year. I ran 30 times. I won a couple summer national races. It was so
that's
it was
so fun.
Which is so weird. You'd think that would be the complete opposite.
Yeah.
You need to be racing all the time, but no. And then when I came back, then we decided we were going to do. Then 2020 was COVID, so that was a weird year. And then, now I just travel the country doing it, which is a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, you just got back from Alabama.
Yep. Yeah, literally last night, 9:00.
Did you go to the race Sunday?
Yeah. It was awesome. Yeah, I've never been there, so that was the first time I've been to Talladega, and enjoyed it. It was.
So let me ask this. Go ahead.
I was gonna say this is just a really blonde moment for me. I literally did not know it was in Alabama for some reason. I thought Talladega was in Florida. It was the biggest racing blonde moment I've ever had in my life on Sunday watching that. I was like, wow.
Let me defend her for a second, though. She does know Daytona is in Florida.
I do.
She did not get them confused.
They do look similar. They're big tracks, So.
I knew both of them were separate. I just thought it was also in Florida.
They only build big tracks in Florida. No, that's it.
Right.
That's it.
Anyway, had to speak on that. It was such a moment.
So speaking of that, now that that's all come up, I didn't know I was going to go this direction, but now I'm going to. So in February, I, on a whim, flew down. Your mom's like, come on. And your mom, she's so inclusive. Oh, yeah, I love her.
I love Tammy.
And since we've all kind of gotten to know each other a little more, it was super cool. She's like, are you coming? And finally, I'm sitting in this office on Tuesday morning, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm going.
Right.
So I book a flight, the most expensive flight I've ever booked in my life. And I'm like, okay, I'm going. So I show up. But what I'm getting at here is that was a very fun weekend because we were also on the phone that Sunday. I'm already in St. Louis because I flew back. He's driving back, and I want to know, how did you meet Rick, first of all? Like, where did that come out? But we're on the phone because one of your good friends, who's Ricky Stenhouse, who won the Daytona 500, like, I'm watching, and Larson, too, and it's like, these boys I text you. I'm like, these boys are going to mess around and run 1-2. I was like, are you turning around? So that was pretty cool because I was like, if you turn around, I'm getting on a flight. Like, figure it out.
I know.
But how did you meet Rick? Because you were also you were at his wedding.
Yeah.
That relationship's super cool, which I think, kind of want to introduce people to. It's like, the people who we all know and who people like know. But how did you guys meet?
Yeah. So my best friend, Nick Hoffman, he actually we grew up together. He lived in Illinois, and then they moved to North Carolina. His dad was building engines and stuff, worked for NASCAR teams. So they moved out there. Nick's raced a long time, and then Nick and him became buddies there, 10 years ago. He ended up buying a house which sits just out in front of Ricky's, not even a quarter of a mile from front door to front door. So, I went out just with Nick a bunch of times. We'd go to the Chili Bowl and do different things. And, that's where I originally met Ricky. It was like 2017, 18-ish. We would see each other here and there. And then really in 2019, once Nick bought the house right there in front of Ricky's, I went out to visit and spent almost 2 weeks in North Carolina, and we all just became damn near inseparable. Cool. So, we ended up doing a ton of stuff together. We, went to New York for the PBR, and it was just me, Nick, and Ricky flew out there for a whole weekend. And
that's so fun.
We just tried to burn the city of New York down. And we did it.
I could see.
We gave
successful.
We gave a pretty good effort. I know that much. But and it was just, we became really, really close. Cool. Ricky's awesome, and thankful for those relationships because I didn't. You always, I don't know, I guess in racing it's such a weird dynamic because none of us are like, oh my God, we look up to those people. You can just go meet them. But, it's obviously more than that. So, just being around those guys is a lot of fun. And, I've learned a lot from them, really, just kind of getting to be buddies with Ricky and Larson. You see how good they are at what they do, and it kind of, funnels the energy. You see where they put all their motivation into. So, and then we've gone to the 500 now a couple times. We were there the year that Ricky sat on the pole. That was a wild time as well.
I bet.
Yeah. He sat on the pole, and then what's cool about Daytona is they qualify the weekend before. It's not the same week, so he qualified on Sunday, sat on the pole, and then we had a whole week in Florida celebrating it, just bouncing around. And so that was a blast. And now we see each other all the time. This past weekend, Ricky was racing his sprint car at the short track where we were, so me, Nick, and Ricky are all parked right next to each other.
Aww.
Just three amigos.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the three amigos.
It was really cool. He wins the 500, and we were gonna go. Literally, he had texted me that week. It was like, "Hey, are you guys gonna come? Like, let me know." But we had been down there for almost 2 weeks. We went in January, and we had said we were gonna go, and then last minute I'm like, man, let's just go home. Like we were wore out, and of course, he's up
like,
front
I'll
at the
show
end
you.
of it. And,
Quite literally.
I texted, right after the races, I texted Madison, his wife, and was like, I literally said, holy shit. That was like all I could think at the time. I think there was a few others, things that I texted.
Sits in there probably.
Right. And, she literally texts back. It's so funny because Madison is like this just amazing woman. She is so like very just God-fearing like this. And the only things that she texted back was, let's fucking go. Like, and like I read that and I was like, okay, the emotions are real. So it was awesome. And literally, she was like, where are you guys at? And we were probably 2 hours north of Florida at that point. So we're 5-6 hours. And I was like, man, if we were still in the state of Florida, I would have turned the rig around. We would have drove straight back there.
Yeah.
And so that was, it was really cool for him. Neither me or Nick went. We had both talked about going.
Oh my gosh.
Neither one of us were there. So we texted me and Nick and Ricky are in a text, later that week. I'm like, we're never going to be invited back. So every year we've gone, we haven't won. We don't go, he wins. So.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Mick and Gordy enter the chat.
Yeah.
We're never missing a Daytona 500. Yeah. Rick enters the chat. You're never coming again.
Yeah. So it was really cool for him. And they've had a great year, too.
Yeah.
You know, they've had a lot of good runs. And, at Talladega, they were good again, just bad fortune. That's the way it goes in play racing. So, it's just really cool to get to see that realm of motorsports from that far behind the scenes is really cool. But just being around those guys, I actually have known Larson longer than I've known Ricky because Kyle grew up racing at Tri-City and those things. So it's fun. And then getting to race against Kyle now, he's running the late models. Yeah. It was fun the other night. He literally started behind me in the feature and we were getting ready to go out for driver intros. He's like, I know you're going to want to run the bottom. So you're going to move out of the way for me? I'm like, no, absolutely not. I was like, just to make a point, I'm going to stay in the way.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny.
One of the few times you'll see Gordy just go up to put the 6 car behind Gordy, and that's when you'll see him just go to the top.
Right, yeah, literally. Yeah. And so actually the other night, I ended up running the top way more than I run the bottom the other night. And he goes to me after the races, and he's like, dude, I literally look up and you're just blasting the fence. He's like, I was proud of you. I was just getting after it. So, yeah.
And next week we get to talk about, we're going to have your mom and dad here as well, which is going to be cool because this kind of leads into, so we don't get to talk too much about it. We can't spoil it for them. But there's some fun stuff coming up with those guys coming to Worldwide Technology again, which I hear they all love to race. They enjoyed their time last year. But Tri-City, which mom and dad own, it's going to be a pretty fun week, and those guys are going to be here. And like you said, that's what I appreciate about the community is, I don't know a lot of these guys yet, but literally your mom helped Kenton get a picture with Larson last year, and I still had, it was one of the backgrounds on my phone, and just down to earth guys. I mean, was there a line out of his car? Yes, but I mean, just. You can talk to them, especially if you catch them when there's not a line. They are willing to talk to you. Rick, I talked to Briscoe. I met Austin Cindric when at Worldwide Technology. We hung out for a few minutes there. Those guys are super, super cool. Well, and the reason I was at Worldwide is because one of my friends, Kyle Anderson, worked on Ricky's crew. So I was actually, and I had met Rick real quick. He wouldn't remember me, today, but just super great crew. That whole, and we obviously are super passionate about the racing community. Sure. It's just awesome all the way around. Yeah. So, but outside of that, so what are you doing now? You've already helped us a ton with some of the things that you have going in the office, but you're starting something now that I think people in this community need to know about, because if they know you're the one doing it, I think you're going to have a lot of support.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, kind of crazy. To backstory it, during COVID, at the time I was just trying to race, so it was that was my income. It was however I was doing was what was bringing it in, and then COVID hits, and I'm like, well, I'm making absolutely nothing. There's nothing I can do.
You're kidding.
Yeah, I'm I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I think that was just me being younger and just being so aspirational about wanting to be nothing but a race car driver. And it's not that that's not possible or that I couldn't still do it, but obviously things happen and you got to have something to fall back on. So I was living with my cousin Travis at the time, and we were just brainstorming, man, what are we going to do? We need to both make some money. He was a real estate agent at the time. Yeah. So, nobody's selling houses. You can't even leave your house. Right. How are you going to sell it? So, we started brainstorming some ideas, and he came up and was like, what about T-shirts and doing different things along those lines? And so we decided we were going to start a T-shirt company, screen printing, embroidery, and just things along those lines. No idea what we were getting into, but, if I get into something, I'm just 100%. I'm just passionate about it, and I'm going to go wide open. So, so we found some equipment and started up a company, and really in the first 3 or 4 months really that we've truly been open here recently, it's been pretty busy already. And I'm super excited about it. So we've just been wide open. Actually we've got a ton of stuff already this week and leading into more, and have some really, really big things on the horizon. I had a couple of good meetings with some guys last week that we're going to do big orders for. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, obviously got to do some stuff for you guys, and hopefully, do a lot more. So,
heck yeah.
Yeah. So
for sure.
That's really, it's been really cool. It's a lot of work, and a lot of when you don't know what you're doing. It's a lot of frustrating hours. But that's just part of it. I think that's one of the beauties of like the journey and process of figuring all that out. And it's, you know, it's stressful when you pour your hard-earned money and things into something and you're like, not that you just expect a quick return, but when it doesn't happen, you're like, am I supposed to be doing this? Should I keep going? But it's, you know, it's starting to pay off already. And, you know, I'm really excited about it and really just kind of want to give back to the community. You know, the first order we did was for Hog's House, you know, right up the road. They, you know, had a kitchen fire and thought, what a great way to get our name out there and kind of give back by, you know, donating the profits that come out of these shirts and helping the community a little bit just by giving back to them. And it's already been a great turnout, and you know I still have more orders coming in for it. So yeah, it's been really fun, and I'm truly excited about where the business is going.
That's awesome. Yeah, our shirts and like it's been a hit already. Like you brought those in last week and we opened those up and it wasn't literally 3 minutes after you walked out the door.
They were like, what are those?
And that's not even for the practice. Right. Like that was a whole different brand.
Right, exactly.
That we haven't truly launched yet. But yeah, no, definitely. I mean, especially here, I always call like this Cottleville area now. I mean, this whole little hub here is like its own little hallmark channel city. And it's like if people know who run things in the area, they're most likely to like, oh, let's use somebody local. That could mean South County. That could be no. Here it's like local means like right here.
You are
in your backyard.
You are in this 5 mile radius.
Yes.
It's coming out of here.
And that's really why we have people like you on here. I mean, obviously we're friends and you've got a story to tell too, but it's like when it comes to business and commerce and the way the world's been as messed up as it's been the past few years, it's like, you know, how do we just introduce, because I think there's a lot of people in this community that don't even know, they might barely know somebody, but they don't understand what they do and how they can utilize them and help build them up and, you know, help expand their business or give back to them, because you never know, you know, the bottom of the iceberg. You only see the top of it, right?
Absolutely.
But also, too, the community, like you can really lift up. And I think if more people knew who was here, which is why the Vital Wire is called the Vital Wire. Like I think it's vital that people know across the wire in this community, who is here. Yeah. So what else? What else you got for 2023? What's Gordy's plan?
It's just getting ready to get going. So,
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot happening right now. Obviously with the racing and everything, and then here in about a month and a half, I'll be a father. So. Pretty crazy.
That's so exciting.
Yeah,
I can't believe it's already a month and a half.
I know. Yeah, 30 today is 33 weeks. So
33.
Yeah. Great number.
Yep.
Great
So
number.
right on cue, here we are. So it's been exciting. It's been a crazy journey. But you know, both Savannah and I are super thrilled, and we can't wait for our little girl to get here. And it's been a whirlwind for sure, but it's coming quick. And like I said, both her and I are so excited. And my parents are thrilled. Her parents are thrilled. Our families are excited. My dad's side of the family, all of us just keep pumping out little girls.
I know.
I think ours is going to be number 7 in the last calendar year.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so
I didn't know that. That's
so
funny.
Just keep coming. So it's a lot of fun, but it's just something completely different, you know. And everybody keeps asking, like, "Are you ready? Are you ready?" I'm like, "How are you supposed to be ready? Like, how does so you know?" And that's every parent that I've talked to keep telling me the same thing. Like, you will never truly be ready, no matter what you think. If you haven't experienced it, you're not ready. Just the way it goes. So just kind of keeping that open mindset into it and just enjoying that whole process. You know, it's been a little bit different, I think, because you know, her and I don't live together like in the same state right now. So that's been a lot. But at the same time, it's just part of it. You know, I think it's just one more thing we'll look back at and kind of get to enjoy. I wish I was there more, but luckily she hasn't been, you know, crazy sick all the time where there's been things that I haven't been there for. But, you know, I've been to all the ultrasounds and, you know, even though she's 4 hours, it's not hard to get there. So I've made sure to be a part of all of that. So
that's awesome.
Just really excited for that to happen, you know, and then obviously just keep working and racing and being nonstop. So there's a lot of big things going on. I've bought a condo down at the lake, and you know, just that's been that's a big hit already, and this is our first opening season for it. So
Yeah.
There you
hopefully it
go.
goes
If
great.
you need a place to stay.
Yeah, make sure.
Hit 'em
After I
up.
get the open weekend, you can choose a different
Right,
one.
yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I'm really, really excited. So I've stacked my plate, I think, as tall as I can get it.
Yeah.
but-
Dude, that's if there's one attribute that clearly stands through
For the
from
gun
you and your
makers.
dad, you guys just you can't. You don't stop. You don't stand still. Like even if you
Energizer
want to and
Bunny.
you mean to, you get pissed off that you don't. You do it anyway. It's like you just, as we say, on the chip the whole time.
Yeah, it's that's a quality I picked up from Dad, that's for sure. And sometimes I'm just like, man, I wish I just didn't have that. I think sometimes I wish you could just shut everything off, but
I love the dynamic because your mom is so like talk about on the chip. Like Tammy goes, but Tammy knows when to shut it down. Like she gets everything done. She gets what she needs to get done. And then KG just goes and keeps going and keeps going. And it's like, holy cow. And you definitely do the same thing. Sometimes I'm like, holy cow, dude, like you're wearing me out.
Yeah. Right.
Well, there's been multiple times you've gone over to the gun Dakers, and KG is just on something, and he's like, Dustin, come on, let's go. And you're like, what are you doing? And we're like, we're moving all the oil.
I show up a few weeks ago, and you guys had 2 pallets of freaking Lucas oil sitting in the shop. And he's like, well, I guess I better get this unloaded. And like he starts unloading this. I was working on something, or I was utilizing something that you guys have that of course I don't. And I'm like, no. I said, you're not taking. I said, you stand up there, get up there. I will shove it all up here. He's just like nonstop.
Yeah, he can't help himself.
I love
He literally
it.
can't. He just doesn't know how to stop. And
2 pallets later, I look like Popeye.
yeah, just keep on going. Yeah, it's so funny, like him and I have spent I don't know how many late nights in the race shop or just anywhere for that matter. And there'll be nights that we might have worked till midnight, 1 a.m, and finally it's like, okay, I'm going home. Like we got to be back up at 7 or whatever time. And by the time I get up, I leave. I'll come back the next day, and then I'll notice that more stuff has been done. And I'm like, dude, you went down to the house with me? He's like, oh, I know, I couldn't sleep. I just went back up there. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, yeah, he's like, oh, or he'll shoot me a text first thing in the morning and be like, I finished this, this, and this. Yeah. All you have left is this. And it's funny now because I do the same thing to him.
Yeah. Roles reversed.
We were getting ready to leave a couple weeks ago. We'd worked over the t-shirt deal till about 10:30, and then I went to the shop. We had to leave the next day. It was last week, actually. And I worked from 11 till 3 in the morning. And he hadn't been up to the shop yet and texted me, and he's like, when are you going to be here? We still got stuff to get done. And I was like, I know you haven't been in the shop yet, have you then? And he's like, what time were you here till? And I was like, well, I got there at 11:30 and was there till 3. And he's like, oh. He's like, I just missed you. I went to bed at 11. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. So, but, things like that happen a lot. And obviously it's a good quality to have, to want to keep working, but it's very tiresome at times. You don't realize how draining you're doing of yourself until like, you get caught up like last night when we got home. I was like, I'm going straight to bed. I hadn't slept more than 4 hours in over a week, and I'm like, I need to sleep. And so last night I just completely got home, ate, and shut it down and slept. That was like I think it's like 9 hours. And like, wow, that was amazing. So but just part of it. You just don't have time to slow down when you keep stacking your plates.
Too much life to live.
Yeah,
like there's so much cool shit in life to do, and if you love what you're doing, just keep doing it. And that's it's just super cool. Which again is just a testament to why we do these things, because somebody's gonna grab onto some of this and be like, your story, the cool stuff that people can do, whether it's racing or skydiving, like it doesn't matter. It's just like, but to hear everybody's kind of perspective and what they do and how they keep going about and their family dynamics, like I said, especially in this area, is just super cool to showcase. So,
absolutely.
What else you got?
Nothing.
Anything?
No,
This is a good one.
I
We
love
like to keep
it.
it under a half hour. I knew that wasn't going to be a chance.
Absolutely not.
I was gonna say, I'm glad you didn't tell me that before. So I'd have been like,
You got all nervous.
I'd be like, guys, we ain't gonna make 30 minutes, just so you know. Yeah.
No, it's great.
I tend to chatterbox. If you get me going, it's just like they'll just keep on flowing out.
You in town
That's
this
good.
week?
I'm off this week. We don't race this weekend, but actually, one of my best friends coaches at Southern Illinois in Carbondale, and So we're going to go. He does baseball coach another. So one of my best friends and I are going up for the weekend, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, that's fun.
Go watch him coach and hang out. And
So you're not gonna be at the race.
I will not be. No, I'm not. So to be honest, I really didn't think about it when I was booking. When we planned this out almost 3 months ago that we would do it, and then because I was like, I have an off weekend. Didn't even think of looking at mom and dad's schedule. Then I realized that, and I was like, whatever, it's just it's a race. It's no big deal. I don't get to see my best friends all that much because we're all scattered and we all have so much going on that we plan this out, and they keep texting me because they know if anybody's gonna cancel it would be me. So like, oh, sorry, I can't go, and they keep going like, you're still coming, right? And I'm like, yes, I'm not missing. Like, I will be there. So and then come back Sunday, we're having a small get together, like a small baby shower for Savannah with all my other best friends that still live here.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
So we're having a small deal Sunday, and
cool.
that'll be fun. Just it'll be a good time. This is my last off weekend before we race the whole next month, and then baby's due June 6th. So
June 5th. That's my birthday.
Oh,
so.
look at that.
There you go.
So,
Yep.
Just a little throw it out there. We can share birthdays. I'm okay with it.
So it's everything's happening really fast. So I head out of town. So we race Wisconsin next week, Illinois the week after, and then we go which is the week that really worries me. I'm in the East Coast for 10 days.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it's 2 weeks prior to the due date. So I'm like, little girl, hold on for a little bit.
Stay in there.
I don't want to be catching a red eye trying to get back.
If it makes you feel any better, first-time moms normally go 41 and a half weeks.
Yeah, don't tell
So
Savannah.
Yeah.
Don't tell Savannah.
I won't tell her, but just don't watch the end of this.
Yeah, you're right. So tune out. So, but so
You'd be asking Rick or cousin Carl for a big
I
favor.
will make get back.
Fuel the jet.
We got to get home. So it'll be good though. So I'm excited. Just a lot coming up and a lot going on. So
Very cool.
Good. All right. There we go. Thanks for being here, brother.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Thanks so
you.
much.
Thank you for having me.
Yep. See ya.